How's it going, everybody? Trying to figure this out. Can't see anything in the chat. Beautiful day. Beautiful day to be alive. This is my first live. I just want to make myself available right now for any questions anybody might have in regards to what I've been sharing with you, the goings on in the sky. So shoot away. Hey, Rhonda, Carol, up 3, Daryl, thanks for being here. Zims asks, how long have I been seeing things? Well, it's been about a couple years. Hello, Cindy, Eli, Joanne, Miss Honey. So how many of you guys are having any new experiences? Up 3 sees the same thing in his sky in Washington. Are you documenting any of this? Are you sharing it? Miss Honey has a question about the lights that were appearing in the trees and the shadowy figures. Well, at that time there was craft flying over, and it was only visible when I had my night vision camera on, but you would see the tops of the trees in my yard light up like a candle as they would pass overhead. It's very interesting. Vicky, you got some tree-colored kale seeds. Amazing. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I've got some tree collards and kales that are doing really well right now, even though the weather's heated up. Up 3, no documentation, people don't want to believe. Yeah, there is some of that. Mandy, I've got pics from 2 different incidents. One looks like a literal planet, the second a moon. The other was crazy bright blue orb in the blue fog. Oh, you talking about visitors? Yes, let's talk about it. As you can see today, we've got some covering in the sky. That's not by accident. Something else interesting is when I do mention and talk about all these aircraft that have been flying overhead, it seems to calm down dramatically every time I do that. They're still showing up, but not en masse. Mandy, the moon, like sodding, was in 2022, and the blue orb was maybe a month ago. Was there anything that you were doing at that time that you think may have invited that experience into your perception? Or hi, Trish. Have you seen any more close-up saucers? Well, I don't use the term saucers, starcraft, and yes, they're plentiful in my skies. Carol. They come to save us from unwanted earth destroyers. So, when I first started seeing things, of course, I took it to the Lord. I suggest everybody do that when you're unsure of what might be showing up in your life. And the message I got from the Lord was that they are the heavenly host, the army of the heavens showing up. '88. I've been able to telepathically ask the orbs to change whatever color I'm thinking and form triangles, etc. So I haven't done a whole lot of that as far as trying to get them to prove anything to me. They show up at precise moments, precise timing, at an exact point where I'm looking at. This is a nightly occurrence for me. If the sky's clear and I'm out here, it's impossible to be coincidental in any way. Miss Honey says they've always been here. They're not from somewhere else. I'm going to try to not plant seeds of... I don't want to try to convince anybody of anything. What my real goal is with sharing all of this with you is to have you experience for yourself and come to your own conclusion. I think that's a healthier way to help awaken as many as possible, which is very important right now. On a side note, my channel started picking up again when I started sharing this stuff, and it just completely flatlined. So for about 24 hours, things were picking up, and all the videos just dropped, just flatlined again. So I'm not upset about it because I know it's all in perfect timing. Things are being manipulated. There is a storyline that's having to play out in order to keep the peace, keep the calm. But a lot of people are waking up. Daryl says, didn't you say you were riding a motorcycle and saw a large craft? Yeah, I saw on a couple different occasions an airplane just completely stalled in the sky at very low altitude. What's up, Ooker? Mandy says, my most profound sighting was during an emotional conversation with my husband about God. He and I saw a very large craft right above the mountains to our northwest. No photos of that one, sadly. Yeah, Mandy. A lot of times something is meant just for your eyes. Thanks for sharing that. Hello, I forgot which state you live in. I'm in California. I've talked about this story before, but I'll share it with you guys. It was towards the beginning of my awakening. I had a dream. I had a dream of lottery numbers. I was in a bedroom, and the TV was going off in the room next door. And I could hear these winning numbers being called off. It was for a Fantasy 5 game. I was in my early 20s at the time. And the numbers all came clearly through the audio of the television. And then I could see it visually, like forming on a ticket. Except one of the numbers was kind of blurred and rotating around. And those numbers that I saw were 1, 3, 6, 9, and then 1 popped up again. And so I ended up playing that second number, the second one that popped up. I turned it into a 13, I believe. and I was off on that one number. But that definitely awakened me to the fact that there's a lot more to our experience here than what most of us are aware of. How is that possible, right? Are you in South California? No, I'm in Northern California. Interestingly enough about those numbers is that it was the angelic number 1 and 11 were the winning numbers, so 111, and 369, the Tesla numbers. Vicky, there's more going on than we can imagine. And in my honest opinion, all our pronouncements and philosophies are babies babbling in the conversation of adults. I don't necessarily agree with that. Hey, Holly. I had an experience shortly after that dream where I was in deep prayer with the Lord. And all the lights in my house went half dim. So I had the lights on and it literally went to like the half level of brightness and stayed that way for about a minute. I had goosebumps all over my body, hair standing up on my arms, and it was an amazing experience. Giant grass is caught alive. This is my first live. I don't know what I'm doing here. I am thinking about doing more lives, more Q&As. So I would need to choose a few moderators for the channel. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments. Everybody say hello to More Life. He's been trolling the channel for a couple years. No data, Dan. What frame rate is the camera you use to capture your orbs? All the recent videos you're seeing are 30 frames per second and 720p. That's the highest setting in my camera. It's a night vision camera. Are you guys noticing all of the accounts that show up when I'm showing you guys what's going on in the sky? And in unison, it's satellite, 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 satellite. And all of these accounts, nearly all of them, are anonymous accounts. Sometimes with ridiculous names and pictures as well. But it should be pretty obvious to you guys that we're over a target when we're presenting and you get that sort of reaction. Nobody's banned from my channel, so everything is allowed to flow through. That's part of my calling right now, is to help to expose the network bots. And bots aren't just like a warehouse of computers where people are controlling multiple accounts. They can be people as well that are just acting like a bot. More Life. Nonsense. Your comments are loads of bots. Yeah, there's quite a few. But I don't focus on that. Shauna, hello warriors, and woodchip engineer with the heart. Thank you all for being here. NPCs. I used to use that term as well. But I'm trying to keep myself in a more loving vibrational state as I can, regardless, and pray for the individuals out there who are lost. If you saw my last video where I was outside and the light that showed up above me, followed by what most people would consider a shooting star, and it's not what people think it is. It's much more than that, my friends. Giant grass is where we go one, we go all, nothing can stop what's coming. Yeah. The rap I put out, Nothing Can Stop What's Coming, YouTube took that one down. Gary, been seeing white orbs here in Philadelphia area for 10 years. I call them heavy things, heavenly things. Yes, more on that. You could take it to the Lord for yourself. But all of these orbs, these plasma orbs that are showing up, there is a spiritual side to this. Like I said, bring it to the Lord for yourself if you don't believe that. But the fact that people are still convinced that these are satellites is concerning, that there's that many people that are just falling in line with the mainstream narrative. I thought about putting out more information about the whole Starlink satellite trains that they release, publicly as a deception. Not to say that there's not satellites up there, but them releasing these satellites in a string-like formation was to convince you that when you do see lights that are following each other, oh, it's Starlink. It's Starlink, right? Question everything, my friends. Satellites, according to the information, how do any of us really verify anything that they say, right? Are supposedly 350 miles up. They're about 21 feet by 11 feet. And as thin as a solar panel. If you can see that far away, something that small, with your naked eye, hats off to you. You may be a hybrid of some sort. David John, the Lord has plans. Sorry, I missed that comment. Hi Ray, thank you for your videos. I have seen so many orbs in big craft. Satellites go by overhead. Chat's going by fast. How do I slow it down? More life, apparently a Democrat atheist. Well, it's important that we all come together right now and put out the loving energy, even to those that oppose everything that is of the truth and that is of the good. There will be a moment in time where it'll be so undeniable, the things that we've been speaking of, talking about, and sharing, that they're not going to have any leg to stand on at that point, and they're going to need support. Something I've always been in tune with is the fact that if you allow negative energy, negative people to affect you and bring you down, you're in essence allowing them to control you. So when somebody comes around your space and they're being negative or they're being insulting or whatever the case may be, you got to brush that off and don't get sucked into that low vibrational state, because that's really the objective of a lot of these individuals, whether they're human beings, bots. Daniel says, are you aware of Chris Bledsoe? If so, do you relate to his experience? The name rings a bell. I need to look more into that. Somebody else had commented on that as well. More life. If you come at me respectfully, I'm happy to answer your questions. Just, the smiley face emoji with the tears. How old are you? Carol, did you know an unknown metal that shapeshifts under the craters on the moon? I don't know anything about that. There's a lot I still don't know or understand. I don't spend a whole lot of time asking specific questions. I don't feel like I need to know everything. It's definitely more of a spiritual experience that I'm having more than anything else. God's a big part of my life. Jesus Christ is a huge part of my life. Vicky says, I don't have much space. You mean area to relax and skywatch, or to grow food, or what do you mean? Carol Jardine from NASA. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, guys, so if I didn't respond to yours, you can go ahead and post it again. I have recorded UFO going into the moon, says TETs. You know, we're entering into an age now where these AI videos are coming out, and it's really blurring the lines of what's real, what's fake in this 3D reality, the duality that we live in. It's of the utmost importance that everybody out there grow in their discernment and in their intuition, because if you're waiting around for others to give you the answers, the truth, you're probably going to be waiting quite a long time. Truth is pouring out, and it's going to continue to pour out, but in a structured manner. Like I said, there's too many people that have been fast asleep for far too long. And so to release an abundance of information all at once could have negative consequences. And so therefore, each and every one of us are meant to have our own experience right now and come to our own conclusions. So what's the truth? The truth is that God wins, and that the light penetrates the darkness, and that everything's coming to light, and that humanity has been held back for a very long time, but we're being set free. And a lot of us are experiencing this new earth right now. We're having miracles show up in our life all the time. And the key to all of this experience is, one, a relationship with God. And a lot of the most negative people out there don't have a relationship with the Lord. You can ask them. They're open about it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought reading comments. Yes, Birthright, great book. Says Truth Risks. Me Private, Timothy Albirno is awesome. I'll try to remember that and look into it. What are your thoughts on aliens are fallen angels? Fear-mongering. That's actually a ridiculous thing to say. All I get is loving messages and loving vibrations and constant confirmations from the Lord. Giant grasses need the koi fountain sounds in the background. They're actually goldfish. I can head over there. But this is my spot. I'm facing the sun right now. Let's see. Myra, head tingles when I see them in the sky. Oh, oftentimes I'll get my entire body gets goosebumps. My hair will stand up in a good way. Are any of you guys out there feeling or experiencing any type of frequencies? Slight ringing in the ear or anything like that? Shauna says, you have made me want to skywatch myself. It's so amazing. Love it. Right on, Shanna. Can any of you guys see how many people are watching live? I have no idea. If you're not a Bible believer, then I guess everything is already done and perfect. Well, what about the Gnostic Gospels? What about all of the stories that they took out of the Bible? Emperor Constantine. There's a lot of information that was taken out of the Bible. 95 watching. We could do better than that. So over a decade, 500,000 people decided they wanted to subscribe to this channel and see what it is I'm sharing. But you can see the numbers here aren't quite adding up. But that's okay. If you're here, you were meant to be here, in my opinion. You have huge things that can happen going live. Daniel, you are so right about the Constantine era and how they took out and removed many books of today's Bible. That's right. Book of Thomas, Enoch. Jake says, get a John Gill commentary on the Bible. Nikki, love from Oregon. Love back your way, California. Richard, I'm here because you're on to something. Yeah, like I said, if you guys knew me growing up and when I first began posting on YouTube, I'm not a person who wants attention. I tend to be more private in my life. But when things start occurring in your life and you get a calling on your heart and the Lord speaks to you and wants you to begin sharing certain things, and then you do it and you get these confirmations, all of that discomfort, fear, anything that you were experiencing that may have been holding you back from sharing dissipates, it disappears. So I encourage all of you, start your own channels as well. Don't get emotional about anything that happens on these channels. If your channel is being suppressed or if you get trolls coming around, it's all just part of the test. Shauna, you have found your mission. That profound. Thank you. I'm just getting started. So I purposely chose the name Plant Abundance because abundance is a mindset. It is a feeling. It is a vibration. Gardening has been a huge positive thing in my life. Very high vibrational activity, and the foods are very good for you. But there's a lot of different aspects of my life that have nothing to do with gardening. So I chose to share that here. Some people, they're not into it. That's fine, I understand. I too have been subscribed to channels for certain content and then they change over and start sharing other things and I don't have interest in it. So that's fine. I'm not worried about subscriber counts or anything like that. So you can come, you can go, you can stay. It's up to you. Jake, you've helped me with my garden in Illinois. Well, thanks, Jake. Appreciate that. Maya, gardening is the best grounding, indeed. You got to get your shoes off, though. Daryl, do you have a job working for someone or for yourself? I've been self-employed for over 15 years. Richard says energy, frequencies, vibration. You got it, Richard. Have you done any videos on your hugelkultur beds recently? No. I still practice hugelkultur. Seems that a lot of people are now onto it. It's really just a great way to take up space in a bed. Adding in materials that you already have on site is a great way to take up space and then fill it with the soil. And it turns into amazing soil for your garden. I think if you look into the book Chris Bledsoe wrote called UFO or God, you will find an exacting of what you talk about. Might interest you. You know, I'm one of these people who I don't tune in a lot to other people that are on this same path because I don't want to get the interference of other people's ideas and concepts into my consciousness too much. I don't avoid it entirely, but that's on my mind. Got lots of videos. Bob says he has lots of videos. Go check out his channel. Seeing orbs over his town for 2 months now, ever since he started remote viewing. Interesting. Hey, D Nice. Welcome. Daryl says, I have an edible landscape model, 50 plus fruit trees and berry plants in my yard. Awesome, Daryl. Yeah, I've got like 35 fruit and nut trees. I don't know how many berry shrubs. Many different types. Any Bible verse we should plug into your consciousness without interfering? Say whatever you want. I was just talking about people that are specifically doing or experiencing the same thing as me, or might have prophetic gifts or insights, or experiencing downloads, that sort of thing. What are those things you show? Which things, Heather? The real JQ, hi. What's up, man? 88. By the way, my name is a trolling name right now, inside joke. The lights. What are those things? Most of them are orbs and starcraft. I don't know how many of you guys are actually able to see in detail what I filmed. I see it clearly now. I've found a way to kind of upscale my footage and get it to upload with less compression now on YouTube so you can see things more clearly. And I think a viewer by the name of Mike had mentioned something about the compression the YouTube puts on videos that are uploaded at 720p. And so that's what got me on that path. So thanks to Mike, I believe your name was. Thanks for the sub. I'm trying to, the real JQ. Fat Narrow. Hello, I'm having the same thing happening here. Where are you at, Fat Narrow? There's so much detail in the new videos. Yeah, and I'm hoping to be able to capture some of the other things that I experience and witness on a nightly basis. I've said it before to anyone who hadn't heard it before. I have a lot of experiences that I have yet to be able to film. And that is in part because not everything is meant to be seen so quickly. Sometimes I act as a mouth for what someone else needs to hear right then, but most of the time I open my mouth only to change feet. I am in BC too. We see a lot of them here in the Monterey Bay overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Do you head out to the beach and get the view, or do you have a property by the beach? I used to live near Monterey for a couple years. Northern Cali is a pretty active spot, I think. Well, it definitely is. I think the action is all around the world. And it's one of the main reasons why you get the sky covering. It doesn't make sense that it's all just for weather when they start covering it up towards the evening time. Are the light from God. God put it on my heart that what I was having a connection with and what was showing up was the heavenly hosts, the army of the heavens. And they also confirm that they are working with God in tandem with the Lord. Are the lights angels? You can say that. I asked them specifically what it is that they would prefer to be referred to as, and if any of the different terms offend them, and they're not offended by anything. So whether you want to call them galactics, star beings, light beings, the heavenly host, God's army, they're all correct. I usually see these lights, 3 lights at a time. Are they in a formation or in a row? Do they change colors? What kind of camera do you use for the video? I'll go grab it in a little bit and show it to you guys. It's windy out here today. Have they always been there? Or is the mail getting... Sorry, comment went by too quick. Have you asked them who sent them? Which God? It matters to me. In Jesus' mighty name, the one and only true God. If you guys have been around for a while, you may recall when I was having heavy trailing up in the sky, I began to pray and declare in Jesus' name that the sky must clear above my home, above my town, above my city, above my state. And I kid you not, the skies would literally clear, not every time, but most times within an hour or two. And I called in billions of the heavenly host. And it was shortly after that I began to see it. Flashers, blinkers, streakers, orbs. Yes. I like to use the word streakers instead of meteor or falling star, because most of that is false narrative. Have the light always been around, or is it the veil getting thin? The veil is definitely getting thin as humanity awakens. I received a download that they can see the energy as we awaken and our vibration rises. They see in colors. It's turning more of a magenta color. They can see, and they are surprised at just how fast things are moving forward with the awakening. TETs. I think UFOs can turn up if you sing. I think the main component to that is your vibration. So if the song that you're singing is of high vibration, it's of the good, of the light, absolutely. Same thing goes with prayer or meditation. Jake, the state of humanity is total depravity, or the doctrine of inability. No, Jake. Do the lights scare you? No. Why would they scare me? How do you equate God with UFOs? Well, you're calling them UFOs, and they're not. They're not unidentified. They are identified. And because I have a strong relationship with God. When people present those questions, I want to encourage you directly to strengthen your relationship with God and ask for yourself. Now, maybe I can help you guys out a little bit for those of you that have had a hard time maybe hearing from God or think that it's not possible. The key really is to quiet the mind and to put yourself into a positive state of mind. You can start easily by thinking about all the things that you're grateful for in your life. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on what is good in your life. What can you be thankful for? The fact you woke up today, the fact that you're able to see, that you have your hands, your legs, your arms, you can move around. And for those of you that may be dealing with disabilities, I'm sure you have plenty to be thankful for as well. Everybody's dealing with something, my friends. Everybody is. It could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional. But life on earth can be challenging. Nobody has an easy walk. But once you get past fear, then it becomes a lot more enjoyable. So no fear. I like to say use caution. That's a healthier way to defend yourself against doing something or experiencing something in a negative way. Use caution, but step out of fear. Fear is of the enemy. God wants you to be strong, courageous. Today I'm thankful I can walk again. It's great news to hear, Carol. God bless you. Blue sky all day, every day. Hi, everyone. Just joined randomly. Thanks for being here. Giant grasses, rise up as a group. The thing about groups is that they can be infiltrated. So I tend to stay away from some of the mainstream terms because they can easily be infiltrated, like I said. Like when I'm talking about the Galactic Federation, there's truthful information out there, but those words are also, there's a channel out there, I forget what it's called, it's sci-fi something, and they're just putting out like 20, 30 AI videos a day and using Galactic Federation in the title, and that's what I'm saying. They can spam, they can come in and infiltrate. So just be aware of that if you are joining groups. Or what we need to do is rise the consciousness, help others to awaken in a loving way. Try to be understanding of what people are going through and how hard it is for some people to have the awakening. It's like the dark night of the soul, right? You have to have introspect. You got to think about everything that you were wrong about, everything that you were against, and you have to accept that. And a lot of people's ego is too strong for them to back down off some of their positions. And by the way, I don't claim to know everything or be holier than thou. I'm on my own journey, and you guys are here joining me on this journey, and I thank you for being here. Hey, any new development in the orbs? Well, they seem to be getting closer and closer. I'm seeing more definition, and the camera's not able to pick it up, but I'm able to see it with my eye. And they do appear to be more craft-like than just a ball of light. But I think that they are morphing as well into different shapes. I really only started seeing orbs after my wife passed. I'm sorry to hear that, TETs. But I'm glad that you're having an experience, and I hope that you feel better about everything because of it. Janet, you're so cool. Thank you for sharing yourself and your journey. Thanks, Janet. Some people think I'm cool. Some people think I'm crazy. Some people think I'm a scammer. Some people... That's part of life. To anybody who does wonder why I would go on this path, I had a successful gardening channel. I could have easily just stayed in my lane, right? And just rode that out. What fun is that? I mean, life is a journey. And we all evolve, and we have experiences that help shape us as we mature and we grow. And we should constantly evolve and not get trapped in these boxes that they try to put us in. It's truly a compliment being called crazy. Well, doesn't matter what others think. That's right. I'm not looking for anybody's approval. You shouldn't be either. Jake, what denomination are you? Blue sky all day, every day. Sana, haha, yes. Christian. So if I read the Bible cover to cover, does that make me more informed, a better person, more correct? We have tapped into our higher consciousness that's truly beyond beautiful. Many of us have been on this journey for a long time. I myself, for over 20 years, I've been on a journey of awakening, higher consciousness. Are you still manifesting things in clouds? I don't know, Daryl, you should stick around and find out. We all have a power to manifest. Read the book of Thomas, Daryl. God lived within you. But it's not so much about the material things that might show up in your life. It's more about the energy that you put out into the world and what comes back to you. You know, I have quite the photogenic memory, and I do read all the comments. And what's interesting is that a lot of folks that show up that challenge things that I'm saying or showing or what have you, they don't show up on any of my other content. So it's not like they were gardening fans and joining me in the garden and they were taking part in that, and then all of a sudden I switched it up on them and now they're angry. They never showed up for anything else. So have you seen the telepathy tapes? I think that's where the two girls were having a conversation on a mountaintop. And telepathy is real, my friends. Until a person was in my mind and experienced my perception firsthand exactly as I do, I can't accept their judgment. Says Blue Sky. Jake, I've been watching your videos for years. Well, thank you for that. Another thing I do want to mention is that I'm not monetizing any of these sky videos. I have no financial incentive. I'm not planning on writing any books. I don't want the attention, but I'm happy to, stand up in the position as needed, as called on. But it's just me sharing my walk, sharing my journey, and connecting with others that are having similar experiences. I think that the more people that share, the more you help to confirm for others what's true and what's not. If everyone shared their truth, the world would be a much beautiful place. Hi, Dan. God bless you and even the challengers. Absolutely. God bless everybody. I think in the near future we'll do some discussions and talks about dreams as well, because dreams, I've had dreams that were very foretelling of what was to come, experiences in the dream state. And I find that it's really important that before you do fall asleep, if you do say a prayer, just ask for protection over your dream state, that you may have prophetic visions or be given some sort of insight or information, and that you can retain that knowledge in your awakened state. Try that. Hello, Agatha Velvet. BP Painter. Bro, you capture some awesome things. Keep doing you. God bless. Thanks, B Painter. God bless you too. And I will. I'll keep going. Well, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up for now. This is my first live. I appreciate you all being here. We'll do it again. I have a bit of a studio set up now that'll be much better for something like this. I can maybe set up some slides and things and talk about things in more detail. Have more of an idea what I want to talk about. This was just random. I just all of a sudden felt like, hey, let's try this. See how it goes. Feed them koi. No, they're goldfish, comet goldfish. All right, I'll go over there real quick. The garden's booming. And I can't see you guys right now, but yeah, we did transplants this year on a lot of our annuals just for the ease of it. Well, we got the concrete planters that I made out of fabric pots, growing longevity spinach. Here's the fish. Yes, this is my peaceful spot. You know, I was sitting right here one day, and right above my head right here, during the daytime, a UFO flew overhead really close to me. And I saw it described on this new Skywatcher channel. I don't know why he stopped posting. He was starting to document all the different craft that are showing up. But it was like a metallic orb with wires dangling out of it. I think they titled it like an octopus or something, or a squid. It was right over my head. Show you guys some of the fruit. This is a fig tree I planted from cutting. Falling behind on some of the harvest here, but these are Santa Rosa plums. This tree produced heavily this year. You see there's still a lot of fruit on the tree, lots of figs. These right here are one of my absolute favorites. Sweet Treat Pluary. And you see how they grow in clusters. It's a plum cherry hybrid. Man, they're delicious. Got a lot of fruit forming on the cactus. Pineapple quince here. This is a sweet potato greens patch. We grow these for the greens. My wife just made me a delicious fish soup today with a bunch of these greens. In Tagalog, they call them camote tops. If you haven't tried steaming up some sweet potato greens, give it a try. It's amazing. And these trees right here, and you can see how windy it is today. These are the jujubes. They're towering now. And the limbs are very whimsical. It's nice as a overstory in a food forest because it doesn't block all the sun. And when the limbs get heavy with fruit, they start to hang down for easier harvest. Pineapple guava. Alright guys, I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you all for being here. That one wasn't quite ready. Talk to you guys soon.